peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
Fellow Africans, every time we are challenged on matters of importance, there is always a path for redemption. The only thing that Kenya needs at the moment is redemption. It's a redemption strategy that can create a coexistence of all the people, all the tribes, all regions, and all shades of opinions. Challenges come at an hour where a country is on a test. Test runs are always the most crucial points. That's where experiments collapse. Kenya is not an experiment. Kenya is a nation that has existed for 56 years. The challenges, therefore, should not make us hate each other. These challenges should unite us, should unite the people of Kenya to push forward an agenda, to follow their president, President Uhuru Kenyatta, in delivering the agenda for a better Kenya. A better Kenya will produce a better East Africa. A better East Africa will produce a better Africa. The challenges, the obstacles that come amongst us are many, but we can overcome them through discussion, a wider range of discussion, wider disagreements to agree and disagree, to agree again and disagree to disagree. But we should not form clubs, units, militias, hatred of that nature that can take us to the history. Germany today is Germany because it doesn't want to go to the path of the history. Germany goes to the path of development. Over 70 years ago, Germany was at war with the entire world. Today, it is on the path of resolving some of the problems that come. I want us to stand in the place of Germany and look forward and backwards. See what we can do here, but not yearn for what is in Rome. What is in Rome is safeguarded, but in Sicily, which is Kenya, we need to build a foundation for the younger generation that we are going to live here today. The many who have no employment, the poverty, the ignorance, the diseases that kill the people of Africa. We need to find a modium of operation. Modus operandi. The only modus operandi on this is a united, peaceful Kenya. A Kenya united by values of respect and adherence to the rule of law. A Kenya without schemes of elimination or fiction of elimination or murders written by themselves. A Kenya without any hatred against the president, A Kenya that supports the constitutional roots that the 2010 constitution of yours brought. That is how Africa will rise and shine again. Thank you. We discuss Africa. We see what ails Africa. And today, this afternoon, we want to see whether Sudan will permanently remain a sick child of Africa. Is it a permanent sickness? Can we resolve the issues of Southern Sudan? Is it something that has gone wrong for 200 years? There has always been a problem in Southern Sudan, in that great region, starting from all the way the Alimadi Wars and the rest of all what happened until today. Peace seems to be elusive. Why has UN taken slow action? Why hasn't UN set up a tribunal? We want to see a tribunal that will make sure that Southern Sudan people are accountable. Those who committed crimes against the human beings. 20,000 Sudanese perished. They are perished. They are not accountable. Nobody can account for them. And we cannot sit here, go on hammering peace agreements without mechanisms of accountability. If we set a tribunal for Sierra Leone, for Rwanda, for Camera Rouge, we need somebody to stand up for the poor masses, the masses that have died, the masses that continue to die, the masses that are being brutalized, murdered, maimed on a daily basis by marauding armies of both Riek Machar and Salva Kiir. There must be an accountability. You are not going to sit here and tell people there is no accountability in Southern Sudan. There must be a tribunal. Why do we run to harass countries of Kenya, put ICC on Kenya, put ICC on this country, put ICC on Central African Republic? Why have we delayed on putting a tribunal for Southern Sudan to find out who is killing, who has been killing, how they have been killing people? Let me speak for the people in Southern Sudan, the women, the children who have not gone to school, the children who have no medicine, the children who have nothing, who have been running since 2013, and the war cannot end because of two people. Let them face the tribunal. I'm not going to keep quiet as a Pan-African to see Southern Sudan being maimed, being tortured, being cut, dismembered, and we keep quiet and watch people vote images of people, of malcontents singing to us in Uganda, in Kenya, in Ethiopia, in South Africa, telling us they have money. Let them face the international tribunal and tell the tribunal who gave them the guns, where they buying them, how they were killing people. Enough of is enough. Enough is enough for Africa. We have had enough. There is no need of that anymore. Enough is enough. And if people have died, they will not cry. We people who are left on planet Earth must cry for them. We must find justice for them. We must make sure that there are leaders who go on bragging on television stations all over the world, who are accountable. They must be behind bars.
First of all, let me thank you. I've prepared 2 papers which I believe will be circulated because they'll not be projected. But if you can see, first of all, I want to agree with the Honorable Minister. I've done 2 pictorials. One of them is described as Africa at the dinner table. And if you look at Africa at the dinner table, Africa is on a plate and it is meat. And the diners at the dinner table are France, the United Kingdom, the United States, the European Union, the Chinese, and progressively the Arabs. And my second picture is the African hotspots. It's not visible from there. But if you look at Africa today and you make a clean sweep with your mind, there are different conflicts of different intensity in Somalia, in northern Mauritania, in northern Mali, in Central African Republic, Democratic Republic of Congo, Guinea-Bissau, in the Cameroons, in South Sudan, and one can go on and on. And there is a sense in which Africa has always been alive to the question of interference. I will refer this audience, particularly those who are starting, to take time and read the 32 odd speeches that were made in the month of May 1963 by the then heads of states and government of independent African states, the 32 of them. And there are 2 speeches that I want to isolate for this presentation. One was by David Dacko of Central African Republic. And in thanking Emperor Haile Selassie and Kwame Nkrumah on that day, he said that we must never forget that the colonial power has not left us. We must recognize that he did not go willingly. And if we don't check them, they'll come back again. And what would little Central African Republic do against them? Today, he is right. Today, if we remember the activities of France and how they have propped up the regime of Jean Bedel Bokassa, he was right. Today, as the Honorable Minister has indicated, Africa remains the only continent in the world that is referred to in these terms, Anglophone, to mean that we are a sphere of our erstwhile colonizers. About 2 weeks ago, there was a meeting of the Commonwealth in London, England. And a friend of mine who is an Anglophile sent me the photograph very gleefully, saying this is a meeting of 53 equal states. I told him, no. If it was so, why is it that the leadership of the Commonwealth is hereditary rather than rotational? In other words, in the minds of the British, her former colonies are still under her tutelage. And I want to submit to us that in the minds of what I'll call the conceptual West, they think they have a divine duty to instruct Africans what to do. True. And in the minds of many African leaders, they think that they have a divine duty to accept what they are told. That, in my view, is what the Honorable Minister was talking about, the mindset. And this is something that has been examined. We have seen France and its very pernicious presence in Africa. We know what they did in Burkina Faso against Thomas Sankara. We know what they did in Mali or the Sudan against Modibo Keita or against Sekou Touré in Guinea. Pernicious to the core. The Portuguese, we know what battles had to be fought in that area. And let me put this very bluntly. When the former leader of Portugal, Marcelo Caetano, was asked, why can you not allow the colonies to gain independence? This is what he said in substance. As I have examined world history over the years, the following have emerged: that the Caucasians have been responsible for monumental discoveries in the development of man. So have the Chinese, so have the Arabs. But the Africans have been responsible for nothing. They are only fit as hewers of wood and drawers of water. And I want to submit to you who are present here that in the conceptual West's unguarded moments, or guarded moments, that is what they think. And that is how they relate to Africa. So the whole idea that they will interfere is something that they think is their God-given duty. I said there were two speeches in 1963 that I wanted to refer to. I referred to David Dako. The second one was the speech by Kwame Nkrumah. And Kwame provided the solution. He did not complain about colonialism. He said, we must live here with one army, with one command. We must live here with one currency. We must live here with one currency, one country. I do not know where its capital will be, but I suggest Leopoldville or Bangui. Other leaders may have their thoughts. Kwame was right, but who listened to him? Several years down the line, and I've said it in my paper, there were coup d'etats which were engineered, there were mutinies which were engineered, and other forms of destabilization. And I want to believe that the person who actually said it very well in the 1980s was the former American President Ronald Reagan. He said, the United States of America does what is in her best interest. And I agree with him. Does Africa do what is in her best interest? Do African leaders do what is in the best interest of Africa? Interference will be there in very blatant and brazen ways and in subtle ways. I've always asked, until very recently, how many African countries manufactured bullets? Very few. Until very recently, how many African countries, in fact, how many African countries manufacture jet fighters? How many African countries are involved in the arms industry? Some of the leading conceptual West countries which pontificate to us about prizes, peace prizes, are the leading manufacturers of landmines. And if you look at their foreign exchange earners, it is the military and security items. So they say with their mouths, what do they not believe in their hearts? In Kiswahili we say, vita vya panzi furaha ya kunguru. That when the locusts are fighting, it is the joy of the hawk. Because when they kill each other, they get the food easily, dead. It is in the best interest, I dare submit, without fear of contradiction, that the elite in the conceptual West does not want Africa to stabilize, despite their assertion to the contrary. And you'll see it in every country because conflict is a major industry. Today, you look at South Sudan and the many peace conferences that are being held. But if you ask who supplies the arms, who provides safe havens, it is the conceptual West. And when I use the term conceptual West, I'm saying that it extends to countries which are geographically not in the West, like Australia or Canada. So I'm submitting in answer to your question, Joe, that interference is there, and it is part, to use this old cliche, of the neo-colonial project. The neo-colonial project requires that Africa must remain within the sphere of influence of these states. Today, if you look at the United Kingdom, which has left Europe, one would have thought that those are their cousins and that they should sit in comfort with them. You will now see their involvement being de-emphasized in Europe and their interest and appetite growing towards the Commonwealth. Because in the Commonwealth, they are the major domos. They'll tell us what to do. In Europe, they have to grapple with the Germans and the French, and they don't like it. That is the unspoken bit of it. The French also are in Europe, but the Germans are too strong.
Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome to Punchline Africa TV, broadcasting all the way from Nairobi, Republic of Kenya. Viewers, good afternoon in Europe. Good morning in America. Thank you very much for watching us. Those in Australia, those in Southern Hemisphere, in Brazil, Argentina, Colombia. Thank you very much. Those in Germany, in Berlin. Good afternoon. And we have a German lady down here right now. Good afternoon in Nairobi, the headquarters of this Punchline Africa TV. Forget about the other Punchline. This is the Punchline Africa TV. This is the Pan-African television station. Not Punchline, whatever you call it, that's your problem. But this is Punchline Africa TV. Viewers, when you are a scholar and an educator, you innovate something, innovation is allowed. And then the younger generation, like Annie Chiguta and the rest, can copy from you. I have no other qualms. And therefore, I feel proud for having generated this name. That a young girl, beautiful friend of mine and a friend of friends of mine has taken up the name to use it. And most of you are telling me to go to court. No, I will not go to court. Then I will not have spread the seeds. I saw the sowing of the mustard seed. And the mustard seed grew up to make it worth. So if you leave a mustard seed in Kenya, is there any problem? No. With me in the studio is none other than Miriam, German, Game Lady, Miriam Okut.
That break must have done you a lot of good. You're in very good spirits.
Yes, the break I saw your Boris being sworn in. I saw also a Ugandan for the first time, a Ugandan lady, national by origin, who went to Britain after Idi Amin chased them away. The father is a great friend of mine. I had to be in the Commons at least to witness this younger lady who grew up from 1987. When I was in Britain, I saw her coming up. I did not know that she could be the Minister of Home Affairs of Her Majesty's government. And mark you, Her Majesty's government. The government that rules the English that we are speaking in the whole world. So congratulations, Preet Patel, Ugandan stroke what? You see, things that this is the type of organization that we need. Commonwealth. When you grow up in Commonwealth, look, this year, I'm going to stand as chairman of the Commonwealth Association.
Oh, you're vying for that post?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm starting I am no longer seeking for a job. I'm seeking for consultancy because I'm passed for going for a job. application for a job. No. That is now you are leading. At 64, you start leading the world. As long as God gives you time, what you speak is wisdom. Those who want to take it, take it. Those who don't want to take it, sorry, it's your problem. But if you don't listen to the wisdom, it might be your turn. Then you say, oh, I wish I had listened to this gentleman, Dr. David Nyekorach Matsanga, son of soil from one of the slopes of the mountains in East Africa. Thank you. Yes. And thank you very much, Miriam. Today we have a free fall topic.
Yes.
On Kenya. Free fall. Free fall. The dams that produced hot air. A and a K. Don't mention the name.
For the first time in the world.
Yes. A dam produced hot air.
Yes.
A and a K. You know, we don't. If you talk Arror, they will come for you. If you say Kimwarer, you come for you. So you just say A and a K. The dam A and a K. Surely, this is historical. A son of the village of Mafia clan grows up, becomes a minister of finance. Instead of helping his people, he sank his own people. If you look at the trail of the money, Miriam, the trail of the money, and the viewers, wherever you are, the money, the trail of the money, there is one most dangerous person that the DCI should be looking for internationally. And if we bring that person, corruption in Kenya, you will see the truth. One dangerous person. The one that worries me most is the man in London. It's that man in London who could avoid Her Majesty's banking regulations and transfer that huge amount of money. That transfer can only be effected by the highest mafia on planet Earth.
So that guy is already in trouble over there, I believe.
We don't know. We don't want to mention names. Because in Britain they deal with you. They have dealt already.
Okay.
Even if he walks where he goes, unless he goes to hide under Bahamas. There was one serious criminal. Forget about the rest. One criminal. That criminal, Mr. DCI, if you put him, get him, the man who transferred the money from London back to Dubai and into this country. This time DPP, DCI, EACC, kudos.
They've done a good
job. You have
job.
a case.
What
Unless Maraga does not want his record to go in history. Unless the courts don't want that. But this is exactly a case of mismanagement. Misappropriation, mismanagement, laundering, fraudulent in this A and the K dams. Don't mention the names. Because the day you mention the name, you are in trouble. I have talked, I'm just begging, especially we.
Yes, but
we cannot mention those names.
The names. But whatever the DPP has found, it amounts to economic crime. And there are very serious penalties when it comes to economic crimes in this
Exactly.
country. Yes.
A man who transferred that huge amount, evading the Her Majesty's customs, Her Majesty's financial regulations, serious fraud in London. That's the man, the enemy of this country called Kenya. That's the enemy that the DCI and DPP and the ESC must go for. The area you bring this monster who always walks with diplomatic passport. He has got a diplomatic passport, two of them, of two countries. This mafia man is the man you should arrest. He should not be on the planet. Forget about, if you arrest this guy, everything will be revealed. That's it. This is now how to help Uhuru Kenyatta to fight this corruption.
So
war.
the man in London.
Yeah. Forget the ones here. I'm not bothered with the ones here. I'm bothered with the one in London. And I want to use all the contacts that I have in London to get this one arrested quickly, brought to justice. That's the guy who has been cleaning all Jubilee money. That's the guy who has brought us and this good Jubilee government, this good party that us friends supported to disrepute. That guy in London. That guy in London. That one in London. That guy. DCI, put out your eyes. Get the guy. Take the fellow. He's got a British passport. He's got a Greek passport. Get him. Because if he goes to Greece, we might not get him. That's the guy. The mafia, the top of the range of mafia. You could have solved British problem. Maybe he's even worse. That's the guy who transferred, who was able to transact that huge amount of money.
The kickback that was...
My.
Yes.
Look at the money trail. Can I talk to you?
Yes.
On the money trail. And just before you tested the machines. Today I'm talking in a different way. I've learned a bit of Luo culture.
You have learned a bit of Luo culture?
Yes. And that's why I'm talking exactly like that. Because I want some people think I have no accent.
That is part of Luo culture.
Yes. And now I've changed my accent.
Well, today is a free fall, so go ahead. You're welcome.
It is very, very interesting, Miriam, when you look at what really took place. Let me read for you something. Small. The money trail. The most interesting episode of all episodes. Everything that I've never seen. The money was obtained on good relationship with China, Italy,
and Kenya.
Saying, it's all right, we shall help you. We can stand there for you, you built the dam. The Minister of Finance and his mafia network, having seen the softness, goodness of the Italian government.
The kindness.
And the kindness. Went and got this money. Documents exchanged. The money ended up in private companies, finally. But before the money could end up there, because at that time when we spoke, part of it, the whistleblower, the best whistleblowers, not cheap ones, the best, had already seen that there was something very wrong with huge amounts of money like that to be drawn out of a bank and the paperwork to be done in such a manner. Then in the middle of it, then came the word flat lie. A flat lie, diversionary tactics though. The diversionary tactics, and let's call a spade a spade. Diversionary tactics. When we are told it's a flat lie, it was just to make sure that the last end of hiding the assets, hiding the root cause, hiding, but not knowing there was a trail. The trailblazer going around. Yes, then it arrived on the scene. Diversionary tactics invented. Flat lie, people are mad, hyena. So many words were used. Now, this money was brought. And then it now, when we realized things were very hot, we went to Mao Forest. I want you to follow the story. Mao Forest. In Mao Forest, we said we are being beaten up. Senator Lakina versus governor, former governor, you saw on TV, on Jeff Koinange, JL, talking about Mao Forest, move away, go back, remove there, don't build here, ban here, a few things. This was to confuse us. Tactics. And who was leading this? The so-called leader of majority. Because I know up to now, I don't regard him.
Majority senator?
Leader, majority. No, the majority one in the parliament is very good. Somehow he has been disciplined. But the younger guy in the Senate started something to say in Mao Forest to divert us from A and K.
From A and K.
Don't mention the name A and K. The dams that produced hot air. Now, this is mafia, the highest mafia. Now, as things were moving, name calling started. Name calling started. People started calling names, calling everybody name. Uhuru Kenyatta, you have this. Oh, this one is this. Oh, this one is this. But in the money trail itself, as we are calling clearance of paperwork from Nairobi to Italy, Italy to London, London to Dubai, Dubai to Nairobi, Nairobi to private accounts to private wholesalers who supplied the following: saucepans, towels, bed sheets, forks, concubines, caricos, mansions, hotels, and hotel beaches. This is exactly where we ended.
Hotel bedding.
I am now big. Please don't kill me. I am just bringing the picture for ordinary Kenyan to see the suffering that the Kenyans are going through. The money that was meant in goodwill to build A and a K, ended up buying saucepans,
and towels,
bed sheets, concubines, caricos,
luxury towels,
not the usual towel that you find in the Gikomba market.
No, the good ones.
The good ones. But remember, the dam was hot. You know, I used to do drama, so don't worry about me. I was the chairman of drama club in Manjasa High School in 1972, 73, when some people were not even born. They were still catching mucus. So please. So here we are, because I can recite the Shakespeare, the way things worked, the concubines bought. Every concubine started following the king. You saw the concubines, you saw the caricos, everybody lining up, singing the hymn. Hallelujah, our man. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. You are the best. Because money was free. Free money was flowing. I want to draw this for Kenyans, so that the Kenyans can see the pain of how this money was used. After the trial, the money arrives in Dubai. And I remember, I've already told you, the worst, the most dangerous criminal is the man in London.
The man in London.
The mafia who flies between Kampala, Entebbe, London, Nairobi, Dubai, Rome, Torino, Milan back, Nairobi. That is the man the DCI should get. That's the guy. Because Kenyans fear. If I feared and I never said it's Maina Kabutu a liar, we would not be here. If I never said Professor Hafe Maupen was a liar, he will never be there. I am on record for having said the truth, that it set me free. Yes, that is the guy the DCI should arrest. Anywhere you cite him, issue a warrant of arrest.
Is it Kenyan?
Yes.
There is one.
Together with a group of mafia, well-organized Croatian group, dealing in betting in everything. This country will not hear of corruption if you get that stupid small man. There's a man there because he can't fit my size. He's always moving between those capitals, doing nothing but dubious work. Dubious work. London, Dubai, London, Entebbe, London, Italy, Rome, Nairobi, South Africa, yes. Now he was going to USA, Canada, Ottawa, Miguna. That's the guy. That is the man Kenyans should look for. And in fact, maybe probably stoned if it was not the rule of law by President Uhuru Kenyatta. Mm-hmm. It pains everybody. It pains the governors. It pains everybody, the MPs. It pains the taxpayer to see that there is no money in the hospitals and somebody has guzzled all that money and taken it. That's the worst guy. I told you this topic is free for. Take it from there. Miriam.
Free for fall. Do we just need to show our viewers maybe what's making headlines today in the two Kenyan newspapers? We have this day, Ruto's dilemma over graft purge. And of course, police were on a trail to looking for Kiambu governor. Did they catch him already?
Yes.
He presented himself.
He surrendered himself. Mm-hmm. He surrendered himself this morning.
He's another one on the frying pan.
He's gone.
The chopping board.
It's gone.
So what does the law say about a governor? We know that, like, they
ruled it out. Mm-hmm. They ruled. Justice Mumbi said once you are mentioned on corruption charges as a governor or what, you leave the work for the. You leave the
deputy.
The deputy.
And his deputy will be his worst nightmare. Nyoro, they don't even.
Yes, but he has to. He's the deputy by design. He's done. Waititu will be told not to go to office by the court, and the court will rule. Mm-hmm. Yes, this is the end of Babayao
and the co.
And not co. Babayao. He has 9 lives as a cat. I did a certain thing this morning showing the cat. I think you saw it. The cat is hidden somewhere in the corner while the DCI is looking for them.
Are you the one who did?
Yes.
We saw it then. All of us were just enjoying it.
Yes, I did it. It is on my Matanga, the legacy trend. You can see the cat and everything. We organize things.
And the DCI and the DPP
yes, they are looking for the cat. The cat. Amalinze, the cat. Amalinze, the cat. The wrestler, Babayao. Mm-hmm. At last, he has been cornered.
All right, and now.
And the worst thing is that he has been cornered with his wife.
And the daughter.
And the daughter recently married, and the people were celebrating.
Oh, that's another daughter, I think.
I don't know but how do you know?
The other one is still in college.
The one who was married?
With the millions. Who millions were found in her account, still a college student.
Oh, no.
University, yes.
How can you infect the entire family with theft? At least leave someone else who will come to help. Thank you very much, viewers.
Yes, and as it is right now, Doctor, I think starting from Monday and starting from where the CS was mentioned and arraigned in court, now all Kenyans are looking and watching very carefully what the courts will do with this case here. The courts are even now scared. There is no court magistrate who can survive the onward attacks. Mm-hmm. The only thing that President Uhuru Kenyatta and the rest of Kenyans have to do now is to focus on Maraga. Maraga, of late, I give you marks. Of late, you have improved a bit. Had it not been for that woman, the money launderer, the housing estate agent called Justice Lady Justice Mwiru. Oh my God.
Are you not ashamed to be in this court? Remain in this bench?
The DPP is still on her case, so she's
No,
not,
it
she's
believe,
not off the hook.
surely a court. I like any judge must be beyond this Julius Caesar's wife.
Beyond reproach.
Yes. You cannot convince me. You can't. There is one thing that Julius Caesar said, and I said, he said, yes, the only people who can stand for the truth, ye, are the ones who don't fear. It is better not to fear than to die in pain and patience and Cassius and Brutus. Wow. You remember that? He said, alafu tafadhali ukufe as a volunteer, lakini kukua under the pain of Cassius and Brutus. Julius Caesar said that. Indeed, he died. And the worst thing that you cannot do as a leader in Africa, is not to strike your enemy. If you have seen an enemy, if you have been in the army, you don't wait for the army to advance the enemy. Strike, preemptive strike. The more time you give to the enemy, the more ground he yields and the more gaining of support he does. Strike the enemy. Julius Caesar was just telling you, times come when you stand for the truth. You rather die than live under Cassius and Brutus. What? Some people who did not do English literature, who did not read these books, go back and read it today. I'm not using anything. It's here. Go ye and read.
Yes.
Stand, strike the enemy. The enemy is near you. It's Cassius plotting. They are plotting. They don't know what to do. You can't be tormented for a long time here. Kenyans have been tormented for a long time. Time has come for them to say enough is enough. Every country in Africa is arresting thieves. Zimbabwe arrested a whole minister.
Yes.
Another minister also fell last night. Everybody, even a country like Zimbabwe is arresting. What about a country that has got a central bank? Kenya is the pinnacle of democracy, freedom, justice. Let's give the freedom, the justice that lacks in other African countries. Don't tell me the rubbish you want to tell me. Don't tell me what about Uganda. I'm not talking about Uganda. And whether Uganda or what. Have I told you I need it? I might need Kenya more. After all, it was a boundary. You won't force me to live where I don't want to live. I've not committed any crime.
You're protected by the international law.
Yes.
To be
So don't tell me talk about Uganda. So what? To talk about what? The man there, when he catches you with such money, he shoots you. That's very good. It's very good. And when they catch you with such a corruption case in Uganda, you don't apply for bail. This guy here, this Rotich thief here, would not be here. Would not have come up and then start going to drink beer in Lord Arrow. No. Rotich would have not gone to drink a beer in Lord Arrow. He would be still in prison if it was Uganda. You can call Uganda a bad place, but my friend, on corruption, you don't get a bail. You people in Kenya, you are playing with thieves. They will come to kill us whistleblowers. They will kill all the whistleblowers. They will hire people to assassinate people. Please. Msaidie watu wale wenye wanawapatia information. These guys are now drinking beer like that Thuge. With a fleet of skeleton ladies. Go to Uganda and import cafe ones. I'm not. Yes. In Uganda, there is something that you can hate President Museveni for. Yes. But when you touch money of this magnitude, you don't go back home to see your wife. Mr. Rotich had a very good time over the weekend. After a long time, on Tuesday, when they relaxed, wash me, do massage, sauna. He should have been inside for sauna. There is a sauna in industrial area. You can't steal. This is a haste. President Uhuru Kenyatta has trusted you. You're a friend. You're going to do a haste. Haste.
On your country?
Yes, haste. You use a stupid tall man in London.
On your own.
That guy there, Haki ya Mungu. That one there.
First of all, on your own village, that would have benefited from that project if you...
And from Error. AK, don't say Error. They will come for you.
You said it.
The loud mouth will come for you. You can't be a leader of Kenyans. Tell me, I ask you one question. You're a leader of majority. You represent the president and the vice president. You go and yap in every rally, trying to incite, wearing kofia mtatisha watu. Hiyo ilikuwa different. This time we are watching you. Ilikuwa different that time. Mnatisha. This is, you see, one of the people I don't like to see talking so much is Murkomen. Murkomen wrote statements to imprison these people. And I'm going to publish them. You know, you joke with me, I'll publish them. Mimi, I'll publish them.
Matalix
will release those documents. These are people. There are two people. If I were Deputy President Ruto, I will not be talking to Murkomen. I will not. Because I have evidence, at least me. Two people. They wrote very good English. Because they said they are lawyers. Hii watu wanafanyia George Soros, stupid people. They wanted these men to go to jail. Now today, they say we are the best. Best what? Mkule jameni. Sisi wengine tunapoteza kazi. Tuna kazi. Paka saa hii tunawafanyia cheyo. It's very serious when I think about how some of us lost our jobs because of defending people. Then you see some people today enjoying without seeing back, and they want to cause more trouble. It's more painful.
It is.
It's very painful.
And,
so
yes.
That is the free fall. The money left in Nairobi, of course sanctioned by none other than, did he know or did he not? Of course he knew.
Yes.
It arrived Rome. Did he know or did he not? He knew. It was transferred to London. Did he know or did he not? Where was it going? Of course he knew where it was going. So Rotich, if I were you, I would get a sword and cut myself. Japanese way. Yeah, the DPP this time has a case. Unless the judge is upside down mentally. There is a case there.
Yes, and this is what the Standard says. I think headlines, the same matter we are talking about, revealed the silent hunt now for private assets. Dr. It says, in addition to fat bank accounts, detectives map out properties in upmarket city neighborhoods of Karen, Runda, Gigiri, as well as in Machakos and Narok for possible seizure. So they went and they plundered, bought homes and...
Of course.
Why do one person need 8 homes in Nairobi?
Did I tell you the story that every Kenyan asks you, do you have apartments? Every Kenyan, even a woman you want to love. I'm telling you this frankly today for free. Siku ya kwanza anakuuliza uko na apartment. You know, when they see you have a stomach like this one, me heavy, wanafikiri niko na apartment. And sina, mama sina, nataka mapenzi, lakini sina apartment. Everybody, every lady here, those high place, small place, middle, they want apartment. What is wrong with you with apartments? Can I ask?
I can't answer that because I don't know. I don't have an apartment.
No, you tell me.
I have no idea.
So, because why I'm saying so is here they specialize in buying houses. So it looks like there is a curse on Kenya for people to buy houses.
Real estate.
Real estate.
Yes.
You saw me, the lady called Justice Mwiru also went for houses.
Okay.
You saw the other boy, the office messenger,
yes, from the
receptionist, who bought the judge.
8 townhouses.
Yes, 8 townhouses.
For what?
Flies with a helicopter to go and see other houses in Kitengela. Everybody is bewitched on houses. Talk about that free for all. Let's come back. A free for all today debate. Look at the question of Akasha. Is it Akasha?
Yes, how the Akasha brothers.
Now bring it on. Let's do analysis.
Yes. We
told people. And the people got annoyed with me.
So they pay the judges and the police in Kenya.
We haven't seen this yet. We have not seen more. There is more coming. And Maraga said there was no judge who was involved in the drugs. What I've seen from the documents, which these 2 papers cannot publish, is very worrying. So if I were one of these guys who has been mentioned, prepare the mattress. Because the intelligence systems of United States of America would like to talk to you. And they will. Yes. On earth, as long as you are breathing on surface earth, they want to talk to you. The worst thing you can ever do, if you are stealing any money, and I'm not saying go and steal, never use $1. Never use $1. Even if it is $1, and you transact a shirt, a dress, a pillow online, you have registered yourself in the hands of the FBI and other agencies across Atlantic. And you will be caught, you will be brought to justice. Yes. Those who have been mentioned, I'm sorry, some of them are my friends. It is high time we prepared ourselves for either to fly there to clear our names, or we just got swords and cut ourselves. Because most of them are people, they are people whose children have grown already. So me with such children, I do the Japanese life. You know the ceremony by the Japanese of the sword. You came by the sword, you go by the sword. Yes. If a Japanese has seen a scandal of this nature, he will cut himself, save the humiliation by the family, by all agencies. Japanese and Chinese, yes. Committees, but you're not encouraging that. We are not encouraging anybody to do that, but we are saying as long as you have been mentioned, and the worst part of it is let's bring a closure to this Akasha case. It's been because there's one thing that it can also do. Those who are dying, who are going to be imprisoned, can implicate anyone in here. Can implicate anyone. So the government should come in, the Attorney General and the law enforcement agencies should come in and curb down. Okay?
All right. And
Bring more.
what the standard is saying, let me just read a line of that. It's saying government officials sustained the Akasha family drug empires through an elaborate bribery scheme and shielded them so much so that the U.S. connived to airlift them away. So there are government officials that are really benefiting from, the cover-up of the Akasha brothers, because this case has really dragged for a very long time until Kenyans forgot about it, essentially. Yes.
Yes, Dr. Jesse Mashate from London has said, he has written something very interesting, that King Solomon had 700 wives. And they said, he wants us to read it for people, our viewers. King Solomon had 700 wives and cheated on them with 300 concubines. And God still loved him. Your husband cheats on you with one maid, and we can't have peace. Ladies, read the Bible. I don't know whether I have hit Miriam direct or other people direct.
I've not been hit.
Because he has heard. Dr. Machata, thank you very much for listening and watching us all the way from London. Thank you very much, brother. He says,
I don't think he meant that literally. It's just for a good
it
laugh.
is literally speaking, we should have peace, seek peace. We should seek peace. Because if we don't seek peace, then we cannot have the freedom. Today, I was watching one preacher who was preaching in Matungulu.
Interesting. What is this?
Ma'am, I told you, I'm a very preserved conservative.
Okay, yes.
Prayer alcoholic.
Not alcoholic. Alcoholic is an illness. Alcoholic is when you cannot control. You can take alcohol for
Or
fun,
prayer,
for
what do you
socializing.
call addict. Addicted
You're addicted to prayers.
to prayer.
That's good.
I like silent prayer.
That is a good addiction.
I avoid prayers where I wear a nice top suit, not matching with the trouser, and I go everywhere in church.
A broken suit.
What are they called?
A broken
You
suit.
know, my English was old one. Yours is new. Broken suit. And I go on preaching everywhere. So I always ask myself, one preacher was asking, do you really know your neighbor? Do you know your neighbor? People in the church. These were students in Matungulu. Today, Bandika was in Matungulu.
You watch that show.
Oh yes, I am a very good fan of that Shuji guy.
You're very young at heart.
That Shuji guy who plays in Citizen. I like you.
Okay.
I like the guy, and then I like the short dancer. The guy who dances, who keeps the schools.
Doctor, at this point I'm lost. I can't even tell you the last time I watched that show. But I like that you watched that.
I liked it, yes. The preacher there was a pastor, Nganga. Oh, not Nganga.
Not the famous
Ngau.
Ngau.
Pastor Ngau, whose wife is also a pastor, and whose child was an MCA of an award.
Okay.
You know, I know all these things by head.
Yes.
And the man preached. And then said, do you really know your neighbor? To do these things, peace can only make you know your neighbor.
Peace.
If you are peaceful.
Yes.
So the Bible says, even Solomon, despite all that cheating, he created peace
Okay.
with God. In fact, God loved Solomon.
He did.
Among the kings that God did not destroy badly is Solomon.
And he's considered to be one of the wisest men, although that is very foolish, but he's
Give me the fingers, the 5.
one of the wisest men.
Thank you very much, Miriam.
But
I told you God loved Solomon.
A word of caution, men out there, when you want to sign quickly your death certificate, you try that.
I'm not telling people to go for calicos
We are just
or
discussing
concubines.
the text by Dr. Vasheti. Hey, good afternoon, doctor. But I know he meant it for a good laugh. So
No, but he's saying,
yes, and God still loved him.
yes.
And also, I think it's just the thing of human beings. We love being very judgmental of other people without really getting to know what's really happening. So also, yes, We like passing judgment, so also that text could have looked at that side of things. So the trade, yes. I just read there on the Standard, the battle CS to teach. He tried to clear up the mess when he realized he was already in trouble, but it was already too late there. I saw the article there on the Standard.
This, the man cut out for fight to nail Rotich. Who is this? What is that story? Mm-hmm. As we go on, viewers, we allow you to make your comments, and we want to thank all of you, Susan, Onyoni,
really
Oko Ajak Hero.
She enjoys the Amalinze cat story.
Yes, Amalinze the cat.
The cat
That is Amalinze. Mr. Waititu is Amalinze the cat. You know, he's the wrestler, and he goes through difficult things. This one he will go through. But unfortunately, the stage is now set for never return as a governor.
The law will deal with
yes.
him. Yes, the law will. So here you're wondering what this says. It says, when he turned up in court with a long, bushy beard to take on the country's money man, Henry Rotich, few people could put name to Taib Ali Taib's face. So it is Taib Ali Taib, the lawyer that will be handling from the DPP's office, that will be handling from EAC's office, is it?
That's the guy.
Yes.
You know, I like the guy's argument. Mm-hmm. This is now Wana DPP, kudos. Mm-hmm. Those are the type of people you can hire, special prosecutors, men who have got investigative material, minds. Mm-hmm. Let's see how Murukomen can stand the wind. Murukomen is on a fixer. They will only fix. They used to have one big fixer who ended up fixed.
Ogwaro is saying this time the cat will die. Come on, Ogwaro. This cat has 9 lives. Whichever the cat.
Chuke Angaja said, Doctor, you read so many books, but the education today is not the same as us those. Yes, I read, Mr. Ochuka, those books, I tell you, I read in 1971, 72, 73, 74, when I finished all levels. Mm-hmm. I read all those African literature books. Then I came to read Shakespeare, Julius Caesar, Maccabees, mm-hmm. Adam Smith, yes. Rousseau, Montego, Karl Marx. I can recite for you the Karl Marx volumes without going into the book.
I tried buying
one
in town. They're very
I will give you.
Like a whole collection.
Yes, I will bring for you. Next time you see me on a flight number KQ100.
Just don't disappear on me again.
No. Next time you see me, I will bring for you the smaller version.
Yes.
So that you can, the Karl Marx. Mm-hmm. You know, when you read all this, you find the Plato Republic, the Prince. Mm-hmm. Look at those books. Those are very good books. Right. The Lion and the Jewel. Mm-hmm. They give you African context, contemporary Africa, how things stand in Africa, how we behave in our villages, mm-hmm. how we do our things, mm-hmm. how we cheat on women, how women cheat on men, mm-hmm. what Nigerians have done.
And cultures and how
and the culture and how you can interact with the culture.
Yes.
Makeno, the things, the river between, yes. by Ngugi wa Thiong'o, between Makeno and Makuyu. Mm-hmm. That river is there. Mm-hmm. As you drive towards Nyeri, that is the big valley.
Oh, that is the river.
That's the river. Mm-hmm. Where Nyambura and Waiyaki, the civilization of the West, the Catholics and the Protestants in Kenya. I'm now teaching.
Yes, literature class here.
Yes.
I see that.
You have read all this, the way, the no longer it is. Those God is for all for each one is for himself. These are some of the phrases, the good books that people brought that can bring a story. Yesterday I was watching Idi Amin, the overthrow
of Idi Amin
of Dr. Milton Obote. By my friend General Tito Okello, the late. I watched up to the end. And the things that the video was talking about affects me because physically I was in that government. How we did some of the things stupidly, and we lost power. We handed over power to idiots who later on were thrown 6 months after our departure by Museveni. So when I saw this film, I said, I wish the man of New Vision called me to explain, because I would explain better.
Or it was a documentary, but
yes, okay. It is there. I can send it to Stephen for you to listen, or you to listen at home. Very interesting how we lost a government through carelessness, and we have never gone back, never reverted to that Saturday morning, 27th July, 10 o'clock, 1985.
So that was yesterday. Yesterday was the anniversary.
Yes.
27th July.
Yesterday. That's why I did not want to say many words yesterday. Because the sunshine looked the same.
It was gloomy.
Yeah.
Okay. But you're in high spirits.
Which high spirit yesterday?
No, starting when we started the show.
The show I started because it's past yesterday.
It's past yesterday.
I have entered the exile.
Okay.
From that day, we never saw Uganda again. Some of us saw Uganda again in 2008.
2008?
Yes. Jokingly, we left. And the day looked like this. When we arrived at Bohungu Stadium, that's how it looked. That's how it is. That's how time works on human beings.
It does.
And that's how time has molded us, has molded me, has changed me, has a man who flew with one small briefcase, one pair of socks, one trouser, one shirt. Thank you, God, for making me to speak to you generations today.
Many years later.
Many years, 30,
and when you
34 years later.
The uncertainty that came with that. Because you didn't even know where you were going initially when you left.
I swear in the name of God, I did not know where I was going.
Wow.
I did not know where my children were. I did not know where my wife was. I did not know whether my father was alive or my mother was alive. But here we are.
Here we are today. Thank God. Everything, life, all those things, they brought you where you are today.
Where I am today.
Yes.
And the peace.
Yes. When
you have peace, peace.
Very important.
Peace is very important.
Oh, wow.
So see where we are. A full-fledged officer with a vehicle and soldiers and guns, pistols, you are left with nothing. That's what it is. When the revolutions come, they don't have a timetable.
They don't have a timetable.
We lost a government. We have never captured. Our leader died in exile. Most of my people died. All my friends perished. We are very few left. Very few counted from the original Obote to regime. Very few are left.
Very few are left.
The rest are younger people or those officers serving coffee. Coffee and the tea in the offices. But the major ones left is myself, Anyoti, and the rest. Otai, who are still, some are sickly.
And they're a bit elderly now.
They are sickly, yes. And elderly. Otim, Dr. Benny Otim. Those who are, we are not counting those who are in Uganda, who have returned. But the officers, some of us who have served, when I saw that clip last night, I felt tears came out. Because I didn't know where I was going. I did not know that I would one day have shirts which I can change in the morning, lunch, evening, and then supper. I did not know I would see my children. I'm proud that my children have grown. Some now know They cannot be beaten. They can fight the world like I've fought. That's my pride. And that's why you see me a happy man, very poor, with an account very red.
But you're happy. You go to sleep and you don't have to worry somebody knocking on your
Yes.
door, demanding for some.
I don't have Amaro A and a K money.
and also, Baba's brother here is also in trouble. Raila's brother loses 30 million Kenya shillings land as EACC wins case. Yes, that's how you deal with corruption.
Yeah, that is. I think we better talk about that. But Elidas, why did he grab this land in Kisumu?
He illegally acquired the land, so...
Yeah, so he committed a crime.
He committed it, and the ACC has won that case, so we're not even going to have a...
So let him compensate.
Absolutely.
Let him compensate the people he grabbed the land from. If it was government, he can compensate the government.
Yes.
There is no favorism or favoritism in this place, or favoring whoever is, whether you are caught from Baba's side or which side, take it.
If you've stolen, you're stolen.
Yeah.
If you're broken the law,
Why did he acquire the land?
Illegally, yes. So that's also, and also something happened here, Doctor, as we left the show on Friday, and just a few hours from that, the announcement came of the Kibra Member of Parliament.
I was coming to that.
Yes,
You
yes.
bring it up.
Yes.
I was leaving it for you because Kenny was a great friend. I didn't know him much, but we used to bump into each other into intercontinental. I can't say like Baba has said, because I can see so many people criticizing Baba that he has said he paid the school fees. I didn't. I knew Kenny.
Baba paid the school fees.
Yes, the man was working as a watchman. So that is also
To take himself through.
Yes, he worked as a watchman at night. But when the former prime minister again starts saying that he paid the school fees for this man up to university, you see, leaders, let's not have lights.
Yes.
You know, Jamen, this country needs straightforward people, not liars. You did not. This is something which we can't tolerate this. We are not going to be blindfolded by lies. You say you are not there, or you got him a certificate against a Ewaro. You see, I know the politics. There is Mr. Ewaro. By the way, where has Ewaro gone?
Is it Owalo or who?
Ewaro, yes. You remember him? The one who wanted to contest for Kibra.
Kibra, yes.
And he was kicked out.
He was kicked out, but also because the residents of Kibra loved Ken, not the candidate that ODM wanted to form.
Yes.
At the beginning.
So that's it. So some of these things, when we talk, people should really talk when they have real facts, not fiction.
And he just finished building Bagathi Girls High School. On his Facebook page, I used to see him update the development in this school. So those are just some of the things that he will be remembered with. And it is said here on the standard that the late Kibra Member of Parliament, Ken Okoth, divided his development plans in 5 sections: that education, women and youth empowerment, health, sanitation and security. So those were his major priority in his constituency. And in April, while undergoing treatment in France, he ensured that 7,000 students had benefited from the 32 million Kenya shillings bursary funds, and his profile on social media has posters and adverts of him promoting young entrepreneurs. So he will be remembered so much, and the people of Kibra will really miss him for the first time, because Baba was a member of parliament in that constituency. It was part of Langata for a very long time, and not much was done, truth be told. So when Ken Okoth came, he really was able to transform the lives of the people in Kibra, and so they loved him so much. Even when ODM wanted to not to give him that ticket, the people of Kibra said no way. Even if he moves to another party, we'll still vote for him as a person, not a party, because being that he was born and raised in Kibra, he understood the problems of the people from there. So he knew how to prioritize even his development agenda. So he will be greatly missed, not just in Parliament, but also in the people of Kibra. So
may his soul rest in peace.
Yes.
And Sunday Oyolo, Omami Sunday Oyolo sends a message to say,
yes,
nobody ever educated the Honorable Ken Okoth, RIP, but school scholarships and his God did so. So stop vitendawili.
Yes.
Vitenda.
Really. And also,
It is very bad for...
This was not the right time for him to even mention that. And even if you educated somebody, it's not,
Surely.
it's not the time when they're there.
Surely.
Time
You
to
know,
see that.
that's... You see, many people asked me that, oh, this Bob Colimo, why were you not very, very active? And for what? For what? I could not be very involved to be seen. For what? He was a man I saw in London, whom I know in London, where the mother has gone back to.
Yes.
They are in there. I didn't pass their house this time when I passed there because I was late for my checks, medical checks and so on. You know, you have to be checked to find out whether it
is important.
It's important, yes.
Medical checkup.
So I was nearby because I was going to do that and come back. So, but I did not take an active role to be seen. Oh, I know him. No, but I knew him. People who have sung here first saw him in London, in Nairobi, but me, I knew him from there. So the best thing is to leave. The man has gone. Leave it. So that when we meet there, he will say, but I forgot you. But here we are, I've made a bed for you. I don't know whether there are some people like that.
Yeah, but I think Baba, that was not the right thing for him to say, nor was it the right time.
No, Baba yes. At times should also learn.
Be quiet. You don't have to have a... But there's something he did very well, Baba. He is credited to his new role in President Uhuru and Magufuli's relations, and ODM leader helped to break the icy ties between the two presidents. That is according to the Daily Nation on page 21. So, on one hand, he seems to have helped his younger brother in working on the relations between the two countries that have been very frosty. You know, Tanzania has been very standoffish with us.
But there is something in
yeah.
There's something in the Kenya. People are saying there's heavy flu with heavy mucus. Is there anybody outside there? If Alai was writing and saying the Minister of Health is not announcing the outbreak
of the flu. Do you know Sam has a flu?
Maybe it is. I hope it is not the one. they have announced there is an outbreak.
Oh, bird flu that even killed somebody. I
yes. So I don't know whether we wait until the minister
yes.
announces. And Abdisalam Ahmadi Ali. Hello, hey. We have forgotten about you. You no longer talk to us.
Yes.
So you have forgotten about us. Tell us more about Somalia.
Yeah,
Somalia is on the list, and therefore get ready to listen. Miriam, let's switch on over.
So we go straight
to Africa.
To Africa and the world.
And let's start the show.
Yes, Tunisia.
Kenya is finished.
Yes.
Tunisia. The death last week of Tunisia is the first democratically elected president after the uprising sends shockwaves to Tunisians. Unlike some other countries, the Speaker of National Assembly, he's the only man who did not have a vice president.
Hold on.
He
did not. I missed that. And you don't this news.
There you are. This is breaking news. Tunisia had no vice president.
Now I'm thinking. I was wondering.
And I want African leaders in the future.
Is it by design?
Yes. He ruled that way. Because he was not corrupt. He wanted to stick alone. You can see the number of people lining up. The entire city of
Tunis,
formerly called Carthage. By Emperor Constantinople.
You have better memory than myself. I need to
Emperor Constantinople, Alexander the Great.
Alexandria, yes.
That's why you see that Alexandria city.
Alexandria, yes.
Those are the Constantinople, and all of them, the Turkish, they fight in the Mediterranean
The
Sea.
Alexandria in Egypt.
In Egypt.
Okay.
And Tunis was called Carthage.
Carthage, yes.
In the old history of 12 BC and those places. So when you look at that, the whole Tunis came to a standstill. Everywhere, people were mourning of a leader. The man had no vice
He
president.
did not have a vice president.
So the acting president is the Speaker of the National Assembly. How did you miss that?
Oh my
Shocker.
goodness. Shocker.
Thank you very much, Africa. That is the type of Africa that we are looking for. The Africa that actually, this man, and let African leaders take this very seriously. A vice president or a deputy president in Africa causes you more chaos.
What are you implying, Doctor?
No, I'm telling you, you have a very good record. This president of Tunisia said no. They changed the constitution that I will be responsible. If there is a corruption, it's me.
It's him. It's on
If
him.
there is anything, it is me who has done it. I don't want second. Look at what is happening here.
That's very good. So those are some of the
Everywhere in Africa,
Distracted.
there is chaos
this chaos.
between the president and
the
look at the
deputy
chaos in
president.
Zimbabwe.
And a lot of times the deputy will go run against the president.
Yes.
There's normally
Look at the chaos in
a
Malawi.
push and pull between the president and the
Malawi,
vice.
people are being shot on the streets
Yes.
because of the deputy president and the president.
His former deputy now.
Look at the chaos in South Africa, Ramaphosa and Zuma. If they meet in a toilet, all of them going for short call, susu, they will kill each other in the toilet if there is no other extra room.
Yes.
Yes, that's the truth.
And even in Kenya here, very good prime
Look at
example.
Kenya. The only deputy president in Africa who is dormant is in Uganda.
That's what I wanted to say.
You don't know where he is.
Does even what is his
Uganda knows only the president.
name? What is his name?
Sekandi
And
is His Excellency, the deputy president, Sekandi.
He's just there.
Edward Sekandi.
he's just there for a formality. But
He formerly a Speaker of National Assembly, a well-reserved man who is never hungry for anything, who does not want to be seen. Even when President Museveni is out of the country, he does not want to take over the whole helicopter and the Air Force, Uganda Air Force 1, 2, 3, to fly around to show that he's a deputy president.
and that's why he's been there for a while. How long has he?
He has actually 2 terms. He's going to serve the 3rd term.
Because if you want to outshine your master,
You can't.
That's a problem.
The only president, deputy president in Africa who follows 48 rules of
That's Ugandan.
is the Ugandan president.
And he's having a very peaceful
Yes.
time being formality. Just
And the
formality.
Tanzanian one, the lady,
Yes, also.
she also doesn't outshine Magufuli.
I think it's only Kenya that you have a very vocal.
Aye.
And a few other African countries.
And Sudan, you saw Sudan,
Machar.
Riek Machar.
Maybe we should, Doctor, we should have a show where we talk about the role of the deputy president.
Yeah, I think so. Do it tomorrow. Let's talk the role of the deputy president in
when
African
the deputy
politics.
presidents are very outspoken, it's a problem.
Yes. If you find a deputy president who outsmarts the president,
Who is, yes.
Green, John Green, the laws of John Green.
Yes.
Yes,
Robert.
Robert Green,
Green.
48 laws. You don't outsmart your senior.
Rule number 1.
Rule number 1.
Yes. 48 laws of power. Don't outsmart your...
So the only one in the whole Africa who is very dormant is found in our republic. My republic called the Republic of Uganda.
But if Museveni is your boss, man, you have to relax.
He has no, the guy has no clue.
You know, here...
Because the Uganda constitution gives the prime minister
more
the
power.
working powers. But then the prime minister's powers are capped in the presidential decree and the hierarchy. That the prime minister is the daily runner of affairs of the country.
And the president offers the checks and balances.
On the prime minister.
Not even parliament.
So Ruagana Rugunda in Uganda is more known than Edward Senkandi.
I'm even hearing his name for the first
Yeah.
time. But
I don't think you would pass the interview if they ask you who is the president, the deputy president of
that one. If I'm seeking for citizenship, there is that the
Yes.
you have to pass.
If you are sitting for citizenship in Britain,
Yes, you have
they
to.
ask you those questions about the queen and the monarchy, the what.
Yes.
It is easier to get the citizenship in Britain than to pass a driving license course.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yes. Oral. Huh? You must know all those things. The bend, the what, the angle, the black end, you must answer them. If you have failed, they will mark you and they say, try again.
Because if you enter the can, you're not
Yes.
sure. That's
So,
a weapon.
Africa, we are still very far to reach a state of social equilibrium.
But Tunisia,
Am I using the correct words
social
here?
equilibrium. But Tunisia seems to have arrived there.
They have gone.
Because even the president wanted to step down in November. He said he does not want to run for another term anyway. He was old and very sick.
The speaker of voting with the drama of opposition to make it its leader, Mohamed Machoua, the interim president. Yes. But if the death on Thursday, Benji Ched Asebi it shook up the surviving democracy to emerge from the Arab Spring.
And it started from Tunisia.
So the Speaker of National Assembly will call elections within 3 months.
In September, they said.
Yes.
Yes.
Within 2 months, yes.
This is a democracy that, Doctor, maybe a lot of
functions.
African countries needs to really
Let's look.
let's
look at
Tunisia,
it tomorrow.
Yes, and South Africa, and just see what is it that we can copy these countries, that our democracies and our way, especially our electoral processes, is a matter of do or die, or a matter of life and death. There's some of the things that we could copy and see. How is it that Tunisia, it's been working, and it's working very well for these people, and even after the Arab Spring started from that country, they were able to get a hold of the country very, very fast, because they put the country first. I think Tunisians are very patriotic. Even the people who seek for public offices, the leadership of public offices they put the country first. And I think perhaps that is what is lacking in a majority of African countries, because people go to public office for self gratification, to amass wealth, to steal from the public. But this seems not to be the case here in Tunisia. They put the country first. And so President Benji Said Essebsi died at the age of 92. He was world's oldest president, but he was going to step down in November, and he was elected when he was 87 years old. So it's not like he stayed in power forever. And yesterday, all Tunis, everything came to a standstill as they accorded their president the last respect. This is something that we should emulate. How the system works there. We should interrogate this, Doctor, and see what is it that we can borrow from that. Assuming a president died in, God forbid, some of these countries that are very, very volatile. That is the time, nobody knows what can happen. And to know that Tunisia, the president did not have a vice president, wow.
There was none.
There was none. No wonder.
So, there's stability also.
Stability.
And let's move on. Thank you very much. Introduce another topic. Sudan, your favorite.
My favorite. Yes, and hundreds of people have rallied in parts of Sudan. Okay, I know these protesters, they love protesting too much. So they rallied in parts of Sudan's capital yesterday, Khartoum, to demand an independent investigation into a deadly June raid on a protest camp. So yesterday, the government had, the military council had assigned some investigations to see what led to the deaths that happened. And so he gave the report, and he said, okay, the rapid security forces were responsible for that, but the Sudan protesters are saying no, the number they are giving that people died, more people died, so they want an independent investigation. But the military council has said they'll take action on the soldiers that actually are killed, the protesters. But the protesters are not agreeing to that. They're saying they don't see the
So they
military
came
doing
back
this.
on the streets again.
Yesterday.
Yeah, I told you here that there will be a coup, a military coup in Sudan, didn't I?
They're foiled twice.
Twice.
Coups now.
And there's going to be more.
Attempted
You
coup.
know why? If we are not careful about Sudan, we might end up a Libyan way. There are two forces pulling. The West and then the neighbors, the regional neighbors,
The Arabs.
Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Egypt. They want one part wants an Islamic state. Of course, the influence of an Islamic state across Red Sea would help a very good standing for Saudi Arabia to stretch its hands and give up to create a holy base of an expansionist theory of Islam versus Norway, France, America, and to some extent Britain, that are saying no, this was our colony. We wouldn't like to make everybody. Most of the doctors, the would-be leaders after Bashir's departure
In Europe.
are in Europe, in London mostly.
Yes.
Most of the Sudanese doctors are like the Biafran doctors who are working in US. All hospitals in the United States, very few are American doctors. The rest are Biafran doctors. Very intelligent people. Even in the aerospace, in those research laboratories for disease, Biafrans, very knowledgeable people. So we have a pull and a push of regional powers versus the international powers, France, Britain, America, Norway, and the other countries. Then comes the neutral arbiter, China, standing quiet,
From the fence.
having taken, oh yeah, right. I know you want to say it is me on the fence.
No, China is just watching from the fence.
Yes.
They're not taking a very active role. Talking from the fence. China is literally.
I always talk from the fence.
No, China is watching from the fence.
Yes. I rather have the position of China than to have the position.
To take sides.
Yes. Talking from the fence helps you to get rid of so many obstacles that could come your way. Because it means you know everything in the neighbor's house. But you rather stand aside and give those who can pick, can pick. So that pull and push, regional powers versus international power brokers, can bring Sudan to a very compromising position.
And they will.
So there will be many coups, counter coups, and other things. But as you look at where are they going to be able to press, the military itself is not decided on which format it should follow to, because they are supported by seven very powerful regional powers. But what the international community is going to do to break Sudan is to now rally behind the ICC to call upon Sudan authorities to hand over
Hand over power.
Bashir.
To hand over Bashir.
That is when they are going to make the generals coil into submission. If you fail on that, they will come for Major General, Lieutenant General Dukulu, who is the second in command, and others. So that is what the play is. So watchful, stick on that line and watch what happens in Khartoum.
In Khartoum.
Thank you.
So we'll keep a watchful eye on that. Very well said, Doctor. And we move swiftly to Zimbabwe. And of course, on Friday, Tourism Minister Priska Mupfumira was charged in court on Friday with corruption involving $95 million from the State Pension Fund after questioning by the newly formed Zimbabwean Anti-Corruption Commission. So they had to form an Anti-Corruption Commission, the same one we have here, because even us is the high-flying corruption cases that after the Golden Bag, we decided as a country we need an Anti-Corruption Commission that was formed as an act of parliament, I believe. And Zimbabwe formed one, and now the first casualty there is the tourism minister, Priska. $95 million from a country that is trying to grapple with the bad economic times it's going through. So under your leadership, $95 million is a lot of money for Zimbabwean economy, public money.
I have not followed the case, but it looks like the bank. The bank is, my friend is bank.
Your friend's bank?
Yes, but I don't want to talk about it. Because even the bank where the money was drawn out will be culpable.
So she used it for campaigning, for her campaigning.
62 million into a bank against
the advice of pensions funds.
Finance, political.
So the pensions fund, it's like the NSSF here we have.
Yes.
So you take.
He got that money and gave the bank to finance itself without authority from the government.
Okay. It's terrible.
Hey.
Yes. And there's another war that has been brewing in Nigeria, the Shia Muslims. It's becoming a problem.
That is the group has been demonstrating, and several people were killed. And Buhari is facing, as I told you last week when we discussed, I told you Nigeria is a boiling pot. And indeed it is. You can see for yourself now what is happening there. It is in the middle, in the top, in the south. In Abuja, in Kano, in Maduguri, in Port Harcourt, things are not very good.
Things are not
very
good.
The best thing is for Nigeria to find a channel how to resolve these problems that could collapse the state power.
John Clark, you're saying, and you are sleeping and listening on the fence. John Clark, we need you to be awake. Thank you for watching from the fence. Why are you watching from the fence? A Nigerian court has granted the government permission to label now the local Shia group as a terrorist organization. So that is the beginning of even more extremist groups forming in Nigeria there. So yes, this is something that has been getting out of hand for the last 2 weeks. So that is a
Let's move on
to Cameroon.
Cameroon. The United States Assistant Secretary for Africa, Tibor Nagy, has expressed delight at United Nations Security Council meeting on Cameroon held on Monday. And I told you we have a meeting on Cameroon in August in London. I will attend that meeting as a key speaker, one of the speakers. I think this time it is too early. I've told you. You better prepare your visa. Yes.
Okay.
And the ticket will be available. Yeah, you have to report from there, Miriam.
Yes.
Can you work on the visa?
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything Stephen can organize the documentation. Honestly, you can report from London. There is a meeting 17th to 20th.
Which month?
Next month.
Okay, 17th.
So if you start tomorrow, the visa takes 14 days. British High Commission.
All right, we'll talk about that.
No, I'm telling you, that's a job. I'm straightforward.
Okay. So.
And that the Cameroon, the Amazonia, because you will do better, because I will be making the speeches, you can do more of reporting. Those who are watching us, our friends in Amazonia will provide us with tickets, and the ticket will be available. So don't get worried.
Okay.
Accommodation, Madam will give you accommodation.
Okay.
In my house.
Okay.
We have a spare room for guests.
For guests. At the attic?
No.
No.
This one's near my
All right.
reading room. But what do you do now?
We'll talk about it after the show.
No, but so that the Cameroonians who are here can start contributing for us. You are going, I'm going. I've been,
Yes, and
I've been extending my fight so that they can recognize them.
And while you are away,
Yes.
two events happened very, very serious in Cameroon, especially that affected the Anglophone. And first of all was the prisoners in a
Boa.
prison. Yes, no, it started with a prison in Yaoundé, where there are a lot of opposition leaders are being held there. So they are protesting over poor treatment. They don't get enough food. They're treated very badly, and they've been held in prison for over a year without even a trial in any court. So they were protesting, and then there was somebody within them that had access to a phone and the internet, and the protest was being streamed live on Facebook. And about 4 people lost their lives. And also on Tuesday, another in prison, there was another protest, but in Buea now, the one you're talking about. And because prisoners, they are saying, now if you then take us to court then, because you're holding us here illegally and it's not allowed even under the law in Cameroon. So that is just the new development. So Cam has returned to the Buea central prison after some inmates staged a protest on Tuesday in solidarity to their fellow detainees in Kondengui. So the first court was in Kondengui in Yaoundé, and the other one in Buea. And the prisoners, most of them arrested in connection to the crisis in the northwest and southwest regions, were protesting against what they called illegal detention. So about 100 prisoners who were supposed to appear in court refused to show up in protest to the illegal proceedings, which they say is unfair. So they refused. A lot of Anglophones, they said even the conditions, they're forced to appear in court and they're not following the law. The Cameroon authorities are not following the law. So they refused even to appear in court over last week there. So that is the latest. Someone is saying, Ugechuku Hard Rock is saying, please, doctor, don't forget to highlight the problems the Biafrans are passing through. And I think we are coming to Biafra in a very short while. Or have we passed?
Finished.
Oh, we are finished. Okay. And Biafrans, I missed you while you were away, doctor.
Huh?
Yes, Biafrans.
They missed me while I was away.
While you were away, yes. They were really asking for you. Anyi saying, on top of the protest, hundreds of prisoners have lost their lives and they have been killed by Bia's administration. Indeed, very worrying statistics there and information coming from Cameroon. Keep writing to us in case there's anything out there you feel we should know. Please share with us, and as usual, we'll share with the rest of the world.
The Minister of the outgoing ambassador, His Excellency Nick Haley, has said all suspects in Kenya's graft cases will face travel ban.
So if your child is graduating any of the UK universities, you cannot attend their graduation because you'll have a travel ban on your neck. So all suspects.
All. And the Punguza Muzigo also entered. We forgot that. Entered the first Make Waters. I'm looking for Makau Mutua. The man who has changed his...
Is it not at the back there? Is it not? No, that's not him. Oh, no. Okay, I think just move forward. So what did he say today?
Hey. I think this time we didn't write. This time we didn't write. This week. Oh, you switched back to here.
To the Daily Nation. All right.
You switch your sides. You can go on talking while.
All right. So a 2022 succession, that is political wild cards, a play out in Fight for Jubilee Soul. If you want to read that, it is in the Sunday Standard on page 19. And also, there's something that happened, I think, last week that I don't know why this is becoming increasingly happening, Doctor. Civilians attacking police officers. It's really disturbing. I don't know if you're able to see the video where this guy had a taxi had broken the law and the police was trying to get him out of the car. So he refused. The police, I think, joined in, entered the car, and the man started beating up the police officers. Some people who are passing by are the ones who came to save the life of the police officer. And while the government the police spokesperson Owino was asked, he said actually police have a right to enter your car, because a lot of Kenyans wonder why do police have a right to enter their cars in case you've been caught up in the bad side of the law. Yes, the police spokesperson Owino came out and said yes, actually the police have a right to enter your car if they deem it necessary. So that attack by civilians to police officers, I just don't like it very, very much. We need these people to protect us.
Okay. Thank you very much. I want us to finally reach Somalia.
Yes.
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 The ruling, the ruling that is coming.
At the International Court of Justice.
Yes, on Somalia. As you are aware that September is really a dark month for the people of Kenya.
It's a dark month.
It's a dark, yes, it will be dark.
September 19th especially.
But I'm just shocked by Professor Kagwanja's piece. You see, there are two things in life: honesty. Honesty, both intellectually and honesty in your deeds. This double standard. Me, even if Somalia came to me to ask for help, I wouldn't give them. Because I would say I'm committed elsewhere. It is like you asking me to write a paper about Zimbabwe against Mnangagwa. I would say no. Or to write for the British to destroy Mnangagwa or Mugabe, I would say no. But some of my academic friends, some of them don't care where the money comes from. They write for the sake of writing. That's why you see this escalated war of people going to the extent of stealing my name because of sincerity. They sat down and saw the only name that can market that young girl to come back after being sacked from Citizen.
She was sacked.
I don't know.
She didn't leave.
How do you leave Citizen and go down to A24? Surely. It's just degrading yourself. A channel that does not have even 1,000 per minute followers on digital platform. They don't have. And if you are thinking of going to such a television, think of going to other television, because there you are sinking your level. It can be giving you money, but they haven't. The editorial itself is made of people who rely on rumor to make editorials. So you can't have any good outcome out of K24. You might want to go there one day, it's up to you, but if I were you, I would look for a better pasture. Sky News is coming here.
Oh, Sky News is coming.
Yes, some of us who are known to their editors would want you to push you ahead, put your name there, than looking for cheap place where you can go and then start stealing some people's names. You know? So when you look at this, Somalia issue is going to dent a country that has no bank, no central bank cannot defeat. It is a test of power. I agree with Kagwanja here. But Kagwanja is in a better position to advise Madam on what to do.
That is the CS for foreign
Yes.
affairs.
They have left this thing without advocacy. There is no activism. They have locked it into themselves. So that is where Kenya is going to end. I always speak the truth and let it set me free. That case is as bad as that. Is gone. Is done. We handled it badly from the regime of Amina, Gifu. They handled it very badly. Today, they have handled it badly. And I'm honest, because I'm a friend of President. I like to tell if the President says I'm very bad, fine. Fine, Mr. President. But I said the truth. I'm always straightforward. At my age, I can't tell a lie. We have handled this thing. You cannot win an international dispute of this magnitude without activism around it. Somalia played activism. It went and sold the blocks. That's antagonism. The time they sold the blocks, we should have hit them further. We should have gone for them. Intellectually, in London, in every place, we should have exposed the malaise of selling blocks which are under dispute. Instead, we reacted. There is no proactive system there. And those who hate me, hate me. And I have told you, hate me. But the dark month is September. The ruling, the way I know it, the way I know that how courts work, that case is like at the day before it goes. It will be a miracle of Angel Gabriel coming down to help us. Simply because, not because we are not able, not because Kenya is not able, because people are selfish. They wanted to do it themselves, to outshine at each other. It's there. They know it all. So it is there. It's not very good.
Yes, and
so I like the way ruling on maritime dispute is severely test Kenya's soft power. Have you seen?
Soft power.
This man is the one who is talking, writing here. Then we are dead.
We've been going very softly on it.
Yes, because there was no, I agree with Professor Kagwanja. There was no tough activism around the same thing. We cannot defend, you cannot die for people. Our Kenyan people are dying for Somalia. And we have Somalia antagonizing us. And we don't do anything about it. The people are being maimed. The people are being blown up by grenades everywhere. The Kenyan troops are doing a very great job in Somalia. Therefore, Somalia should be very, very, respectful to the neighbors who have sacrificed themselves to sustain the government. But if Somalia has chosen to go the route it has gone, it can easily also be countered in international waters of intellectualism and of lobby. Nobody has done activism around the case. How many Kenyans know that this is a very damning ruling if it comes that it sticks to the boundary which Somalia has?
And if it does, that will create another
Kenya
conflict.
has nowhere to go. You can't pass even in that Indian Ocean.
And now we'll start looking at Somalia in a different manner. So,
yes.
So even if the ruling favors Somalia, then that will not bring to an end the conflict that
not
now...
even if.
Yes. It will go like that. So now, eventually, this is what some people are suggesting, that Nairobi and Mogadishu and the two countries will still have to talk and iron out these issues, even after that ruling.
Exactly. Exactly. And let people get me right. They might have positions I don't have. But I speak the truth, and it will set me free. I spoke the truth about ICC. The same people today who are enjoying these places never wanted me to be even in one of those meetings or in the egg. I'm telling you the truth today. They never. This Ambassador Macharia never wanted me to even enter that place, to be seen anywhere. Because he said he knows it all. Now he knows it all. Kenyans, you can't bring President Uhuru Kenyatta chaos every day. Firefighting. Yet some things can be done. We could have done a lot of advocacy, activism around this case. For people in the world to see the other bench. Those judges listen to the opinion. Already this case brings national security, regional security, international security.
It will affect.
It will affect.
Heavily.
Therefore, we could have more people from other places who are gonna be affected to move in court so that the judges can get opinions.
Is it now too late though?
No.
September is just around
It's
the
not too
corner.
late. Or we have left it too late, they have spoiled it. Let them get the fruits they want. That's it.
All right. So the International Court of Justice is expected to deliver its verdict on the Kenya-Somali maritime border dispute by September 19th, following a public hearing a week earlier. So, yes. So we'll keep an eye on this.
Keep an eye where?
This
Close your eye. Close your eye because it will not be very good news.
We can just keep an eye from the fence.
No,
From the
let's
fence.
close the show.
From
It
the
is
fence.
Exactly 1 minute past.
It's for-
Thank you very much. The rest we can finish it tomorrow. I want to take this opportunity to thank Miriam, to thank all of you who have listened to us, the huge numbers that have been there. Thank you very much. And that is the truth we have spoken. We have nothing to have against anybody except we talk it so that people can pick from here. And that is all I can say as far as these things are concerned. I want to thank everybody who has been watching us. We continue servicing and serving you as Pan-African station and the strongest station that talks about African issues. Remember, this is the greatest asset human beings have. Do you know that you might not know you are on an island, yet you are on the island until you see the seashore?
That's wisdom over there. And as we ponder over that, I've been told to close my eyes. So I'll see you tomorrow. For good
Close,
morning.
Miriam. I
Good
hand
morning,
it over
Africa.
to you.
Good morning,
Has it got you properly?
Sorry, yes.
You might be on an island, yet you are on island until you see the seashore, the lining.
That's when you realize you're...
Because you can't know where you are in an island, whether you are on it.
True. Wisdom.
Thank you very much. Myself and my co-host. Here, London, here we come.
Good. But before London, we'll see you tomorrow for another edition of Good Morning Africa show.
Thank you.
Yes.